Hello and welcome once again to Rostrevor Area Newsbite, albeit a few minutes later than normal. I'm glad you could join us again this Wednesday evening. So we'll get right into this week's show, and first up we'll go to Richie with the club notes.
To St Bronaghs G.A.A club notes on Wednesday, the 7th of October. Firstly, we'll start with the news that everyone will have heard over the last number of days that the GAA have suspended all club fixtures for the foreseeable future and until further notice. In line with this, and following some discussions among the executive committee earlier in the week, St Bronaghs G.A.A have decided to suspend training for 2 weeks and to be reviewed after that. This is to protect all of those playing and non-playing members of our club in this very difficult time. We will keep in touch with mentors, players, and non-playing members as anything develops, and if we have any more news about getting back to play. There were a couple of fixtures that took place over the last week. Unfortunately, our under-15s were beaten by Loughlin Island in a very high-scoring encounter last Wednesday night in Leitrim. No luck to Stephen Caulfield and his troops, just lost out in the semi-final. Good season for the lads, and thanks to Stevie and the team for looking after the boys this year. The Premier Reserves also played at the weekend. They were at home to Carryduff in the first round of the Premier Reserve Championship. Unfortunately, they didn't progress and were beaten quite convincingly by Carryduff, which is very disappointing for the club. But again, we'd like to thank Paul McGee, Niall Farrell and Conor Mackin for dedicating their time and effort to the Premier Reserve team over the last year and the last number of years. There had been plans in place, and there continues to be plans developed for winter training for primary and post-primary age groups within the club. The Football Development Committee are working on a schedule at the moment. Obviously, this is on hold practically until it's safe to resume any training. But as soon as this is done, as most of our teams have finished their seasons, we'll publish the details to mentors and to parents and to players. We were delighted to announce late last week that Abbey Autoline had renewed their partnership with our club as the title sponsor. Autoline have been main club sponsor since 2013 and have provided vital financial support to our club over the past 7 years. We are very happy that the newly branded Abbey Autoline are able to continue this partnership. And to launch the partnership, we released our new home jersey for 2021 season. The jersey will be available to order this week. During the Christmas orders, 3 lucky people will also win a jersey through our social media competition. Thanks to Abbey Autoline for renewing their sponsorship and supporting St Bronaghs G.A.A. An important note on the club shop Christmas orders. Tonight is the last night that we will be holding an order night in the club. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. So anyone who wants to guarantee all of their gear for Christmas is asked to go to the club tonight. All the details have been published on social media, the sizes, the forms, all of the gear, any information you need. So if you're only watching this now, you've just over an hour to get down to the club. Now there is an email facility to order between the 8th and 19th, clubshop@rostrevorga.com. However, as noted for the last week, there are a number of items which cannot be emailed due to the time frame, the turnaround in production. Specifically, these are the new Snood hoodie, our half zip, and our skinny bottoms. So the likes of jerseys and anything else that is outside of those 3 items can be ordered by email until the 19th of October, but payment will be by PayPal and backs only. This information will keep being updated on the social media pages of the club. Our under-12 ladies had their final session of the season on Monday night past, and again, guest coaches were present. Senior players Gemma McGee and Anna Marie McGee took the session, which were thoroughly enjoyed by all of the girls. After the session, each girl had the chance to get their photograph taken with the Down Intermediate Championship trophy, along with senior captain Stephanie McConville and vice captain Gemma McGee. Our thanks to Paul Brown and the ladies under-12 mentors for arranging, and thanks to Louis McNally and the senior ladies involved for making it a special occasion for our under-12 girls on their last session of the season. Many thanks. That is our notes for this week, and I'll see you next week.
And once again, thanks to Richie, for that. With all that has happened this year, it's difficult to start to think about Christmas, but maybe that's just exactly what most of us need to take our mind off things. So get the Christmas orders in, folks. Some beautiful stuff. I've seen some of the pictures of the new gear coming in for next season, and it's pretty impressive stuff. And not only for footballers, but for all members of the family. Now, moving on then. Just we touched on it there briefly about the situation this year with the health pandemic, and a lot of people have had to make adjustments to their work practices. And another group that is caught up in everything that is going on is the local surgery, the Warrenpoint and Rostrevor Summerhill surgery. And what has happened this year is for 20 plus years now, they've been doing the winter flu job. This year, it's a wee bit different because the flu job is being given via a drive-through clinic, and the site will be the Mary Queen of Peace chapel on the Clonallen Road in Warrenpoint, and it's over 2 weekends. It's Friday, the last weekend in October. No, sorry, Friday the 16th and Saturday the 17th of October, and Friday the 6th of November and Saturday the 7th of November. Now, to the best of my knowledge, and having spoken to Damien Fern, the practice manager, anybody that is due a flu vaccination shot will be getting a call and will be getting notified. But of course, there will always be somebody that is missed out. So anybody who feels that they may be entitled to a flu shot this year, please contact your surgery and arrange your appointment. Now, one thing Damien has asked me to point out, and is new for this year, anybody that lived in a house or lives in a house with a person who had a shielding letter from earlier in the year is entitled to or qualifies for a flu job this year. So that information that Cathal is showing here on the screen, I will be putting that up on my Facebook page along with a flu job information leaflet, which you're looking at now. I'll be putting that up on my own Facebook page, just so people can, if in doubt, they can take a look at that and ascertain as to whether they qualify or not. So the main news out of this leaflet is apart from the dates, is that people who are living with someone who received a shielding letter earlier in the year, members of those households will now qualify for a flu job should they wish to avail of one. So anybody that hasn't been contacted, thinks they are entitled to a shot, get in touch with their own clinic and make that appointment. Now, moving on, last Wednesday night after this show, word started to filter through that our beloved local parish priest, Father Kearns, was on the move after 9 years in the parish of Kilbrony. Now, it goes without saying, Father Kearns will be badly missed. He's not going too far. He's only got over my Moyallen Bridge until Warrenpoint. But I want to publicly wish him all the best with the next chapter of his life. He'll be sadly missed and greatly missed in Rostrevor. Man has done an incredible amount of work in the time frame that he has been in Rostrevor, and there's nothing proves that more than the fact that only for him, and I can say it without fear of contradiction, we wouldn't have our new school in the village, because I worked closely with him to see that brought to brought to its conclusion, and the work that man done behind the scenes, being able to pressurize the right people at the right time and push the right buttons to get X, Y, and Z in place, all the while the budget that had been set aside for the new school was time limited if the construction work hadn't begun. So, like I say, I have no hesitation in saying only for Fr Kearns we probably would still be waiting for our new school, and we all know what has happened in the interim. There's money now for nothing. So I want to thank him for all that he has done, and I hope that we can possibly get him on the show next Wednesday night if he has time. No doubt next week is going to be a very busy week for him, but he'll be greatly missed, and the best wishes to him, and indeed to Father Des Mooney. I would like to welcome him to the parish, and we'll hopefully do that at some stage over the coming weeks. Now, moving on very briefly, I just want to mention about people are starting to ask me what's happening with Halloween. Now, goes without saying, Halloween this year is going to be very, very different, and there's a very limited amount of activities that we can even consider undertaking. I'm not going to get into the detail now, but I will just say this. There's no one does it better than Laura Clerkin from LC Events when it comes to organising these things. Rostrevor, over the past 5 or 6 years, has really become the Halloween capital of this particular part of South Down. When you go outside Newcastle or Newry, Rostrevor was pushing them close for just the sheer numbers of people that we were getting to our events, are well marshalled and controlled and safe events. So we're all going to miss it this year. Laura is working on something big. I was hoping to get her on tonight, but she hasn't concluded her negotiations yet, and it would be amiss of me to not let her tell you what she's planning. Hopefully it comes off, so fingers crossed. We'll have Laura on next week as well to let us know exactly what is happening there. So finally this week I have a few birthdays to mention. Today, the 7th of October, is the birthday of two of Rostrevor's most eligible bachelors. First up is John Clerkin. John from St Coleman's Gardens in the village celebrates his birthday today, and there's a photograph of John, and I'll tell you, it's not, you go a long way now to see a tash like that, but I say actually get rid of it. And that photograph, I do believe, that's my own daughter Maisie with him. That was taken in Australia at a family wedding a number of years ago. So John, my very best wishes to you, and a very happy birthday to you, and I hope you don't run out of puff blowing out all them candles. And the second birthday, and another eligible local bachelor, Ryan O'Gorman. It's Ryan's birthday today, and there's a recent photograph of Ryan with the Down Intermediate Championship Cup, because Ryan, of course, was an integral part of the management team of the Saul management team this year, and has worked with county teams in the past, and a man of highly regarded within Gaelic circles for the work that he does in relation to stats and so on and so forth. So I hope, Ryan, I hope you had a lovely day as well, and I'll catch up with you soon. And then just finally, Cathal, a few birthdays coming up this week. On the 8th of October, which is tomorrow, we have Elvina Collins. And Elvina's birthday is tomorrow, and best wishes to Elvina. And then a few other local people. On the 10th of October, Jed Deary. Happy birthday to Jed. And a happy birthday to Roisin McCorry in 2 days' time. And then coming towards the weekend, then the 11th of October, we have a birthday wishes for Kieran Ruddy, for Claire McGrath, and for Connor McGee. And then on the 12th of October, we have Kieran McNally Jr. So a very happy birthday to you all coming up over the next number of days. And I hope you don't be shaking the fist at me now when you meet me for calling your name out live on the air. So very best wishes till all those birthday celebrants, and anybody who wants to shout out, feel free to contact me anytime, and I'm only too glad to do it. So Cathal, that's me for this week, and we'll catch up with everybody again next week. All the best. Thank you.